Hey, good morning, everybody. Holy cow. I'm not the only one up this early on a Sunday morning. Good to see you. Good to see you all. Welcome. Great. Welcome to Morning Coffee with Mitch. And as usual, my friends, if you got it, drink it. Mm. I don't know if you can see the steam coming off of this in the camera or not, but wow, wow, wow. And I see evidence of signs of life over on Rumble. Looks like most of the Rumble people are in bed. Got 3 viewers over there, got 35 over here already on YouTube, but I am monitoring the chat on Rumble, and it's funny. Most of us have different names on Rumble than we have here, so we have to identify ourselves. And Mike Seeley Sr., who's father of United Carnivore here on this channel, on YouTube, chimed in on Rumble and identified himself. He says, "Could this be the first message?" And I changed some settings on my tablet so I can actually read. I made the text bigger. Can actually read the Rumble chat without having to strain. And I've made some changes, and I can, I think, read more clearly by changing some brightness and contrast settings and everything on my tablet. And hopefully we're going to see if this can't be a little more relaxing stream, trying to read tiny little text all over the place. So it's great to see you. And obviously, the single most important, at least to me and you guys and this channel, the most important thing that happened this morning is the re-emergence, the rebirth of somebody that I think doesn't get enough credit for how important she really is to this community. Not just me, but to all of you, and how much you appreciate. And that's Ellen. And if I had sound effects here, I would throw up a nice round of applause. But it's so good. It's so good to see her back in the chat. And she's going to be back tomorrow live with me to keep track of this. And I'd be crazy if I didn't tell you all that I enjoy the company of somebody, of a sidekick, because it's always better that way. And having no partner in life like me, living, relatively in no tears, but a relatively, let's say, solitary. I won't use the word lonely because I don't really get lonely, but solitary life, having me being my only company most of the time. It is enjoyable for me to it's like having a friend over. It's like having a friend over to just have somebody to bounce things off of and have a 2-second opportunity to actually stop talking and actually listen for a change. So thank you, Ellen, and I see you've been in the chat, and I'm glad to hear you got a good. She texted me this morning. I'm glad to hear that you got a good night's sleep. Your cold is going away, and that you're pretty sure you're going to be back up to 100% tomorrow, and that's great to hear. That's great to hear. And United Carnivore chimed in over on Rumble as well. I noticed you come up there, and that's great. So, says greetings from Tampa Bay. Good to see you. We have 14 people watching on Rumble. I'm sure maybe some of you in this chat are among them, but that's great. That's great. I have some notes here. First one says, Ellen will be back live with me tomorrow. Yes. So take it easy today, Ellen. Don't overdo it and get a relapse. Please, please. I had some thoughts this morning, and I maybe use it as a little monologue, and I don't want to make it very long. I want to start interacting with you and talking about you and answering some questions. So I'll try to find all the questions. If you have a question for me this morning, put it in the chat with QQQ in front of it. I did see one question this morning about what kind of smoker that I have, and it was early on. And when I go through the early chat saying hi to people, I'll get to that and I'll answer it if I can. I know I can. I know what kind of smoker I have. Just another quick announcement. I do have a P.O. box now if anybody wants to write to me or send me something. Um, it's in my it's on my website in the About Mitch page. It's now in the description of every video I post, including the live stream. So it's going to be easy to find if you want to send me something. If you don't want to send me something, that's fine too. Uh, but a lot of people keep writing to me and saying, I really want to send you a couple cigars, or I really want to, a kid made a coffee cup for you. And I felt really bad having to tell people, well, it's very, very generous. You're very kind. Giving has a certain pleasure. I enjoy giving to people, and it's a shame when I have to turn it down. And I do that not just in this community and people wanting to give me things like that. I have to do that in real life when one of my neighbors, well-meaning, great people, comes knocking on my door with a huge plate full of cookies and pastries and says, "Hi, Mitch, happy holidays. We baked this for you." That's hard. That's hard for me. If I accept it and thank them profusely, I probably would be faced with well, taste one. Taste one. Let me know what you think. Go ahead, eat one. And then I'm really sunk because I will not do that. I don't want to hurt their feelings. They're great people. So I always take the long, painful, "I'm sorry." And then tell them how much I appreciate it. And if you've been doing this for a while, this has happened to you. Whenever you go to somebody's house for dinner, everybody's trying to force grab on you. One of these days, maybe in our society we'll accept the fact that when somebody says, "I'm a recovering carbaholic," people will back off and treat us with the same deference they treat a recovering. Oh, wow. That's what I get, Mitch. That's what I get for trying to multitask here on the week after an election when everything I see is about politics still and talk at the same time. I wish we would get the same deference as a recovering alcoholic. Because if people try to offer an alcoholic a drink, and I've said this before, and the alcoholic says, "Thank you, but I'm a recovering alcoholic," no matter how hard they've been pushing, they back off immediately and start apologizing. "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I never would have offered. I never would have tempted you. I never." One of these days, maybe the human race will start treating the strongest addiction in the world, carbohydrate addiction, with the same deference, so we won't have to feel so bad and work so hard not to hurt people's feelings, turning them down, well-meaning people, when they keep trying to set us on a path to destroy all the hard work we've done over maybe years by tempting us with that stuff. But we've got a long, long way to go until that happens. So we find ourselves in these situations. And that's how come I decided to finally, I'll get a P.O. box. It's much easier than turning people down, and it will be great. I know I have a couple of coffee cups on the way already. It'll be great to have more coffee cups with especially ones that people made themselves for me. It'll be great to have them to use here on my morning coffee live streams. Something I continue to keep doing. So let the coffee cups, let the collection build up. You know what I think? I had this other note, and it was kind of I don't know if it's a Sunday morning subject, and it might actually end up being in one of those down the rabbit hole things. So I'll save it for another time. But the topic of it was, why do people fight the concept of carnivore with every fiber of their being when somebody suggests that maybe this might help them? What psychological, physical, and other reasons cause them to just immediately think it's the dumbest thing they ever heard, the most outrageous? And there's not just one reason. There's a number of different reasons, and I thought I would talk about it. But that may even be a good subject for a video. But understanding why these people are so resistant to this from all these different levels might help you notice what the level is that's causing them to be so resistant, and maybe knowing that, you could play kind of psychologist and help them bypass that and maybe take it more seriously. Now, if it's just a stranger, you don't care. But if it's a loved one that you see is killing themselves, yes, anything that you can do to help them would be great. Would be great. Would be great. Now, I see questions going by in the chat, and I'm going to start saying hi to people right now, and I'm hoping that I don't miss them. Ellen is certainly keeping track of all of this today. And if I miss any questions today, as you know, Monday is Dogbert Coffee Cup Day here. So Dogbert and I, and Ellen, who will be here as well, will attempt to answer those questions. And it's going to be such a relief. It's going to be not that I can't do this by myself, but it's so much more enjoyable to have company here with me. So much more enjoyable. One other thing I wanted to say, you've all been talking about it in the chat. A star among us has been born. A star has been born in the carnivore world. My friends, Peter at Papa Carnivore did just a great interview with Curry. Did a great interview. He's quite a success story. Quite a success story. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of him. And he's been a good friend to me, good friend to the channel. I know on my live stream yesterday I was busting on him a little bit for hogging all the attention in the chat, but he deserved it. He deserved it. And you know, when I like somebody, when I consider somebody a friend, my highest way to express that is to bust on them. And people sometimes take that wrong. And my employees used to come to me and say, "Why are you always busting my balls, Mitch? Why are you always busting?" I say, "Listen, that's just showing you how much I love you. And I stop busting on you, then you need to wonder what's wrong." And kind of at the end of the stream, I said something like, "Oh hell, I guess I'm gonna have to watch this, aren't I, Peter?" And then I said, "No, I don't mean that. I'm looking forward to it." And but that's just me busting. So if I ever bust on you guys in the chat, or get you in person, or Thursday night, well, you already know this about me, and I start busting on you, you can start smiling and say, "Wow, Mitch really thinks a lot of me." But as soon as I was done yesterday afternoon, I went and watched the interview. Curry's a great guy. And Peter carried himself very well in the interview. It's great. He's got it figured out. There's no arguing with his success. I got a nice shout out at the end. I appreciate that. And the one thing that I really appreciated in that shout out, and I was in pretty high company. There were 6 or 7 different YouTube influencers that he shouted out. And he said that he thought I was the best one. So, Peter, appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. I did want to say that. I did want to congratulate Peter. And I'm glad to see you here this morning, Peter and Ellen. And I got a kick out of the first chat where Peter was wondering if Ellen was going to come back today. And those two people seem to be responsible for generating this pre-show chat that happens every morning. And with Ellen not here, it just didn't happen. Peter was like a lone voice in the wilderness. Ellen, Ellen, where are you? It's great. That's community. That's what makes this work. So let me start saying some hi to people. At 3:53 a.m., Mike Seeley from United Carnivore popped in and said hi. And at 6:55 a.m., Terry Sue says, good morning, everyone. Last night's live, what was that? Good morning, everyone. Oh, I missed last night's live, but just watched it. I did see Papa Carnivore chat with Curry. It was inspiring. Did a good job. Yes, sir. And Papa Carnivore chimed right in here at 7:30 or so. Says, happy Sunday, everyone. Hopefully we will have our lovely and wonderful Ellen back today. You have her back in the chat. We'll have her back in person tomorrow. Hopefully no relapses or anything. Greg Smith is here. How you doing, Greg? Good to see you. Good Sunday morning. I chimed in and said hi to everybody. Richard Williams from Copper Hill, Tennessee. Josephine C. is here. And Mark Booth Sr. is cruising and live from the cruise. He's communicating with us. I hope you're having a fabulous time out there, my friend. And I hope you're eating so much meat on that ship that you're going to affect their bottom line when it comes to their food budget. Have at it, man. Have at it. Sandy Blythe says hi to everybody. Complimented Peter. Nancy Reed is here. Good to see you, Nancy. And Sasha's here. Hiya, Sasha, here with the early birds. Good to see you. Don Schonger's here. Good to see you, Don. And Mike Seeley Sr. I see Rod Weeder and Boyd Lamb chimed in on the Rumble chat. Got 21 people over there, 91 people here. Not bad for a Sunday morning. Pamela Suarez is here. Hey, good morning to you. And Aunt B's with us. And Ellen chimed in. Good morning, early birds. Yes, sir. And Ellen chimed in at 8:16, and she's been chiming ever since. And Aunt B's saying hi to everybody. And Mama Crackers here says good morning to everybody. And who is new after that? Trucking Carnivore, where are you today? Good morning, everyone. Glad to see you. Last pin position I had for him on my map was somewhere near, I think it was Dallas. So maybe he just overnighted in Dallas for a while. Good to see you. Peter's here. Peter, Papa Carnivore is saying hi to everybody, enjoying all the adoration. Asks Mark, how was dinner last night on the cruise ship? Springbulb is here. Good morning, Springbulb. Glad to be with you again. Glad to have you here. It's a gorgeous morning here. Mama Cracker, sorry to hear that, says her aunt's back in the hospital. Dehydration, medicine is giving, well, that's a little too much information, but give your aunt our best. Tell her to eat meat. And Aunt B came in and said hi to virtually everybody. Wow, man, that is some typing going on there. And Peter is acknowledging me, telling him that I enjoyed his interview. Yes. Absolutely, Peter. Absolutely. And let's see who we got. Anybody different? Yes, we have. Steve Rogers. Captain America, good morning from Kansas City, Missouri. Hiya, Steve. How you doing, my friend? Always good to see you. Always good to see you. Charger Mopar. Rick is here from Miami. Hiya, Rick. Quackers. Yeah, Rick's got a thing about ducks. I guess in that respect, we are Quakers. Oh, and Mark Booz is going to give us the play-by-play of eating on the cruise ship, which is great. He says dinner was great. Short rib, shrimp cocktail, and steak. Ah, sucks to be you, man. Lori's here. Hi, Lori. Lori's Carnivore Story. Good to see you. Good to see you. John Logan is here. Hey, how you doing? Good morning, Mr. Mitch. What kind? There's the question. What kind of smoker do you have? I have one of those Cuisinart electric ones, and it works fine. It works fine. I think if I had to buy another one or a different one, I'd spend a few extra bucks, and I'd get one that had a digital thermometer instead of just the dial, because with a digital thermometer, it keeps the temperature much more steady. With the dial, you have to keep adjusting it and making sure it doesn't get too hot or cool off. It works great though, but I think that if I did ever get another one, I would get one that has a digital, at least a digital control, and so many of them do. But I had never had a smoker. I wanted to buy one of the least expensive ones that I could find. I got it on my Amazon page, the links to it there. It works great, smokes great, it's well built, it's made by Cuisinart. I'd recommend it, but I did make that one, I think, omission, and should have bought one that was a little more expensive, I think, with a digital thermometer. William McCartney's here. How you doing? Good to see you, my friend. And Boyd Lamb is everywhere. Everywhere. He's in Rumble. He's on YouTube. He may even be searching for me on X right now. Coming soon. Coming soon. Up and another eating update from Mark Booz. Like a reporter in the field, Mark Booz says, just had eggs, bacon, and ham. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Keeping up with the adventure of how you can go on a cruise, eat yourself silly, and still stay on your lifestyle faithfully. Glad to hear it, Mark. Looking forward to the next eating adventure. And we have, I think I said hi to William McCartney, and MB, Lori, Papa Carnivore, Rick. Anybody new? John Logan, how you doing? Good morning. Ellen, hope you're feeling better. I think she is. I think she is. And let me continue to scroll here. Here we have Moto J81 says good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. And Ellen says good morning to me. Hey. Good morning to you, Ellen. It is a great morning. It's Sunday. It's Sunday, and sun is shining here. It's going to be warm today, breezy. I love this time. I love this time in the morning. I really do. I really do. Booby Goats is here. How you doing, sweetie? Good to see you. Good to see you. And Granny Boo, too, from Oklahoma. Always a pleasure. Glad you could make it. Eddie Edwards is here. Hiya, Eddie. How you doing? And there are... And Mike Sealy over in the Rumble chat says, Carnivores unite. We have to unite. It's us against the world. It's us against the world. Although, I still have some hope that maybe some small things might change with the changing of the guard in Washington, D.C. We'll see. We'll see how effective we can be with all of the protests and fighting and legal tricks and underhanded nonsense that is going to come in a tsunami while the rats are deserting the ship. And if you don't think so, I think I'm not going to be surprised They got 2 months left. 2 months to do as much damage, unfortunately, as they can do to the new incoming administration. Leave them with big obstacles, hundreds of new executive orders, lawsuits. They're not going down without a fight. They, he may have stood up in front of the American people and said it's going to be a smooth transition. That's certainly not the first lie those people have told. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. And I hope that since there's nothing we can do about it, let's hope that, and I have confidence to know that just like they overcame the election and won, they'll overcome all this crap because they know it's coming too. They're smart people. We're finally going to have some smart people in Washington, I think. And I think they know it's coming, and I think they've already got their defenses lined up. They already know the other side's playbook. So I don't think they're going to get away with it. And that really is the bottom line. Okay, enough politics. I think it's time for me. Yes. You know what this means, and it also means a big thank you to Jerry Voitush, who brought me a box of cigars at our meetup here in Melbourne. It was so nice of him to do that. And he bought me a box of these. And I started smoking it a little bit earlier because I've been out here since like 5:30 this morning. So I'm going to relight this one, but this is a good cigar, and it's a big fat cigar. It's one of those gangster looking cigars. The shape is called a Gordo. It's 6 inches long by a 60 ring gauge, and I like these big fat cigars. They burn very slowly because they've just got so much tobacco in it. So excuse me while I relight my cigar. Enjoy the music. And because they are so big and fat, there's a lot of real estate on the end of one of these things, and they do take longer to light. Aha. Good, good, good. Now, took a few puffs and set it down, and it'll probably go out. Thanks again, Jerry. I really enjoy those. And that was just as nice as hell of you. Nice as hell of you. Nikki W's here this morning. Good morning. Good to see you. Good to see you. And Mark Whistler. Crappy day in Indiana. Sorry to hear that, Mark. Sorry to hear that. Looking forward to that coffee cup. I got an informed delivery notice from the post office this morning that tells me it will be, I have a package coming on Tuesday. The first delivery, the first of I hope many, to my new P.O. box. So on Tuesday, I will run over there. And on Wednesday morning, I will be sporting a new coffee cup made by one of Mark's kids for me. And I'm going to tell you, it does not get any more heartwarming than that. Period. It doesn't get any more heartwarming than that. Whoa! It says here someone bought me a coffee. Someone who didn't put their name in, and sometimes people just don't know that they can do that. And it's Peter. Peter Kruger from South Africa. He put it in the comment. Brilliant show. Thanks, Mitch. Peter, thank you so much, man. That's so nice of you. So nice of you. And brilliant show. That's great. That's great. Some old guy smoking cigars, drinking coffee, and saying hi to people. Who knew it could be this easy? That's great, and I'm really tickled to have you as a viewer from South Africa. It's a very flattering to know people from halfway around the world are watching. So thank you so much, my friend. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Uh, I was talking about Mark's coffee cup. I am looking forward to that Wednesday morning. I'll be drinking out of it. You can bet. You can bet. And who else we got here? It's 9 o'clock. I'm looking for questions, so I'm just gonna keep going down the chat until I and just keep talking to you, reading your comments, and maybe interacting or commenting on them. Uh, Ellen made a comment about that we all have different names on Rumble, and mine I talked about yesterday is like WPFL 32789. So if you see that in the Rumble chat, you'll know that that's me. But you'll see my icon is still the old guy with the cigar face. So I'm afraid to change it because under the auspices of that account, I have my old guy carnivore channel name, and so if any of you figure out how to change your name on Rumble without affecting the overlying channel or whatever, and maybe it won't apply to any of you unless you've got a channel in a different name than your username, I'd be interested in hearing it. Meanwhile, I'm not going to take the chance. Right now, sitting outside here, I don't have a mechanism or a keyboard other than trying to type on the tablet screen over there, and that would be impossible for me to do without knocking it over, probably. So let me know. But Ellen says she's gonna look into it. We have Lorraine Borneo here. How you doing? Good to see you. Good morning from Louisiana. Yes, ma'am. And I think I said hi to Pamela, but in case I didn't, don't want to miss you. Gary Williams is here. Hi, Gary, from Seven Lakes, Fort Myers, Floridian. Yes, sir. Hope you all survived this ridiculous hurricane season, and hopefully we're done with it. Officially, it ends November 30th. It's very unusual to have anything of any consequence this late, but it's been a strange season. Started off almost like nothing, almost like it wasn't going to happen, and then hit a 1-2 punch within weeks of each other for the poor state of Florida. Ellen says I'm too generous. Thank you, Ellen. Thank you. Jen S. is here. How you doing? Good to see you. And Ann Wright is with us this morning. A lot of love in the chat this morning. A lot of love. I'm seeing a lot of love. A lot of love for Ellen. A lot of love for Peter. Modicum of love for me. That's okay. That's okay. I'm a part of this community with just like the rest of you. I enjoy seeing success in any aspect of anyone in this community, and I also take with sadness any setbacks or losses. I'm not the boss of this community. Maybe I'm the shepherd a little bit, but we are a community. We have become a community over this past year plus, and I value that. I tell you how much I do, but I want to keep reminding you how much I value this sense of community that we have here, and how much I enjoy. I could come out here in the morning and be, turn on the news and see something absurd, and it sets me off in a disgusted mood or something, and then I say, hell, now I got to go be happy. I got to smile. I got to make people think that life is good when people are so screwed up, and I get, and then the minute I sit down behind this microphone, click that go live button, read the first of your chats, seeing my friends starting to come in, my mood changes like that. It makes me happy. So the happiness that you see from me is never put on. I'm not an actor. You guys should know that by now. I can't even conceal. I can't keep my mouth shut. If it's on my mind, it's coming out. So you know, if nothing else from me, that what you see and hear is exactly what you're getting. You're going, it's me. So the happiness and the contentment and the warmth I feel doing these live streams truly, truly makes me happy. Truly makes me happy. Thank you. Terry Sue winterized her treadmill, okay, and the Love Fest continues. Nikki W. says, I'm fairly solitary also. It makes me really appreciate times with friends and family. Yeah, I understand. The good news about this community of ours here is when you go see your friends and family, they're always trying to feed you shit. But at least here, you don't have to say no thank you. It makes it much less stressful. And Terry Sue says, I'm watching Rumble on Roku TV and YouTube on my phone. You know, that's a great way to do it. I do that oftentimes when I'm watching a live stream if I think I might want to comment. And I watch it usually on my Roku TV. And then I log in on my phone, mute it, and then I can type on that tiny little phone keyboard and participate in the chat if I want to. So a lot of people do that, and it's a great idea. I would much rather watch these things on a big TV. On a big TV. That is Rosara S. That's a new name for me. Good morning from California. Well, good morning to you, and welcome, early riser. P.O. I see why he got the name P.E.O., because that's how you pronounce P.O. P.O. Henriksen, good morning to you, sir, and that's the name he uses over on Rumble. Tammy Batarch is here. And believe it or not, in the chat, I'm up to 5 minutes after the stream started. So all this stuff came in real early. And I want to say hi to some newer people. And then I'll start speeding up the search through this to try to find any questions. But normally, during the course of this, about this time, I would have already finished my hellos, apologize to those of you who I didn't get to, and Ellen would be feeding me the questions, which is what's going to happen tomorrow. Minus 8,000. I need help staying on carnivore. How do I get the willpower to stay on track? Oh, my friend, you've just asked a question that I've answered 1,000 times and have many videos on. And I would suggest that you watch my video. Just type, I have a playlist of how to start carnivore on my channel, which lists a number of videos that tell you how to start, and those videos tell you the things you need to do to beat down the addiction. And the two basic rules are you gotta convert yourself to a fat burner. You've got to go through a particular regimen for the first 30 days, and that regimen is very, 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 very simple. It's number one, go into your bathroom, grab your bathroom scale, take it out to the trash can, and throw it away. Or hide it someplace where it'll be out of sight, out of mind for a couple of months. That's the first step. You don't do that, you've decreased your odds by 90% of succeeding. It sounds counterintuitive, but while you're trying to change your physiology, you do not use weight as a measure of success or failure. It has nothing to do with what you're trying to accomplish if you're trying to cure an addiction. It doesn't matter. It only creates disappointment, frustration. This ain't working, I give up. Doesn't matter how much you weigh. The second thing is why you're afraid to throw away the scale, because I'm telling you to eat until you can't move. I'm telling you to eat until the thought of putting another bite of food, of any food, even the bad foods in your mouth, create revulsion in you. So here I am giving you advice that you should stuff your face and never be hungry and eat 10,000 calories of meat every day if that's what it takes for you to never feel like you need to do. And that will give your cravings the opportunity to dial themselves way down. The temptations will reduce it to the point where you can handle them. And when you get even the slightest inkling of a temptation to have something that you don't want to have, you have to immediately start eating another complete meal of meat. I'm not talking about snacking or a bite of this or a bite. I'm saying that when you get to a point where you've got visions of sugar plums dancing in your head and you're starting the negotiation process with yourself to convince yourself why it's okay this time, you need to have a meal of high-fat, moderate protein. Beef, butter, bacon, eggs, fatty meat, anything. Burger patties, and you need to keep eating until satiety will not let you take another bite. And I don't care what time of day it is. I don't care how much you think you're gaining weight. I don't care. You have to do that because that physiologically is probably one of the only things that's strong enough. That feeling of satiety so overpowering that you can't look at food is the only thing strong enough to fight your subconscious when it thinks it's going to die tomorrow without sugar, because that's where all the sugar burners live, one day away from death. They live one day away from death because we can only store 1 day's worth of energy in the form of sugar in our body. We can store a year's worth of energy as fat, but when we're a sugar burner with high insulin, we can't get to the fat. It all makes sense, and it all is counterintuitive to everything we've been taught for our life, and it's counterintuitive to the reason that people go on a diet in the first place, to lose weight. That's what's on their mind. That's what every advertisement is aimed at. So yes, that's how you get the willpower to stay on track. You watch my videos and watch them again and tune in here, and if you have a problem, you say, I'm having a problem because of why, and we'll try to help you. Everybody in this community knows this stuff like the back of their hand. I discovered after 75 years that was the only way that I could get rid of a carb addiction and keep it off, and I haven't had a bite of that crap almost 2.5 years. Don't want it either. That's the beautiful part. I don't want it. But I do know that if I did start to get cravings, which I haven't, but if I did, or think, well, maybe I can add a little of that back because, I remember how much I used to enjoy. I'm done. I'm done when I start doing that. That's my subconscious again, rearing its ugly head, negotiating with me as to why it's perfectly okay this time. And I'll start back on this again on Monday. So watch those videos. I know that was a long answer, but that is the answer. An answer you're not likely to hear anywhere. They might allude to some of this, but they're not saying this. They're not saying this. They're not preaching it. They're not preaching it like I am. It is the answer. I have a lot of people here in this community that will swear to that right now. Thanks for that. Thanks for that comment, and it was a good one, and I hope what I told you helped. Go to my channel, find a playlist that says how to start carnivore, and just watch every one of those videos and watch them again, and then throw the scale away. Try to rid your house of all the crap you don't want to eat if you possibly can. It's hard to do unless you live alone. Go out and buy a bunch of meat and eggs and all that stuff so you always have it close. Keep food cooked up, ready to eat when those cravings start to rear their head. And I'm promising you this. If you even begin to think you're getting a craving, within a minute, start stuffing your face with a full meal of animal products and don't stop eating until you don't want to eat anymore or can't. And that's the only way you'll ever fix this. That I've discovered anyway. There you go. Rex says, good morning to you, Rex. I never miss an opportunity to go through that because it's my message. It's the most important thing that I have to offer to anybody trying to fix this. It's not the most popular message. You don't hear it often enough, but I'm living proof that it does work, and so are so many of you. Jeff Streslak, how you doing? Good to see you, and I'm looking here for some more questions. DS111 is here. How you doing, my friend? Always good to see you. Terry Sue thinks I'm a hot commodity. Thank you. Thank you. I'll take that compliment any day of the week. Papa Carnivore says, he's a nice guy too, but don't tell him that. It will make his head bigger. Yeah, great. Thanks, Peter. And Jerry Voitush is here. Hi, I still keep calling you Vojtush, but Jerry Voitush is here. Good to see you, Ellen. Things are great. Getting ready to head down to the Jaguars-Viking game. I'm glad you're feeling great. Yeah, and Jerry, in case you didn't notice, I plugged you and the cigars, these great cigars that you gave me that I'm smoking here this morning. So excuse me while I relight this and play a little happy music. Wow. So, I want to set the house on fire here. Enjoy the game, Jerry. Enjoy the game. Mama Bear's here. How you doing, Mama Bear? The sugar pushing season is right around the corner. Yeah, we need to talk about that. We need to talk about that. It's the most, this and Easter, but certainly from here on till after New Year's, it's shop, 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 party, party, party. You could either completely drop out of any human contact and just stay home, hide under your bed, but techniques and methods and things to say to put people off who think they're trying to be nice to you but are really trying to set you back on a course of slow, painful death. They don't understand that and refuse to accept it either, that that's what they're doing. So we need to start talking a little bit more about some of the ways to let people know with no uncertainty that you are not going to eat that crap. You don't need to insult them. You don't need to tell them why. But we need to have some built-in excuses. I'm allergic to that. I wish I could, but last time I did that, I ended up in the hospital for 2 weeks. You can't say you're a carb addict. They don't know what that means. And I said earlier in this stream, it would be great if we could just tell people that I'm a recovering carboholic and have them react the same way that they do with alcohol, cocaine, or anything they wouldn't think about offering to somebody who is in recovery. And that's what we are. We are in recovery from carb addiction, and that recovery will last us the rest of our lives, like it or not. It's worth it. It's worth it. I think it's worth it. This is not the first time I got this suggestion I should start a carnivore dating site. Yeah, it'd be great. There'd be 500 men, maybe 10 women, and because the men always congregate to the dating sites in multiples of 100 times as many women do. But I don't think there's enough carnivores to support that, unfortunately. It would be a great idea. And certainly every one of these would be, to find somebody that was even within a reasonable distance from you. How the hell are you going to date? We're spread all over the world. But I would that I could, but I think that that would be impractical and expensive too. It costs a lot of money to put up a site like that and maintain it, and you have to charge for it, and it's just not doable. And this is the sun. I'm at a point in the day where the sun is shining. Let me try to turn this a little bit. Not much better. Comes through this window over on this side of me, No, it's on this side of me. I'm backwards. Where the bright head is, and shines right on the computer screen and makes those dark green names that the private community members have almost impossible to read on my screen. I can read the actual text, but that's Papa Carnivore. I finally figured out Mama Bear, uh, DS111. I'm looking for QQQs. Nikki W. I don't see any Q. There it is. Spring Bowl. I knew I saw one before. Spring Bowl says, Mitch, I'm a recovering carb addict. How long does it take to heal? I'm unable to fast, and every time I eat steak and butter, my body still thanks me for it. Nearly 4 months in. Well, spring bulb. And according to your little, it looks like it's tiny. I see a whole bunch of red hair. I imagine you're a woman or a guy with really long red hair, or that tiny little picture is hard to recognize. So, that's a good question. It's a great question. How long does it take to heal? That's an individual thing. Depends on what you're healing from. There's thousands of different combinations of things and so many hundreds of different factors that determine how fast you heal that, you know the old expression, it is what it is, it will be what it will be, and we really have no control over it. The only thing we have control over is how we do this. You have no control over how much weight you lose, how fast you lose weight, how healthy you become, which one of those chronic conditions that you may have, and how fast it's gone away. You have no conscious control. There is no action that you can take that just doesn't interfere more than it helps. The key here is why it's so simple. It's just to stick as close as you can to eating only animal products. Don't eat the plants, which means you're cutting out almost all sugars by just that one rule. Make sure you eat enough or more than enough fat. That is one of the most important rules of doing a carnivore lifestyle correctly, is to eat adequate or more than adequate fat and moderate protein. It's not a high protein diet like so many people think. It is a high fat diet, moderate protein. And if you leave carbs out of the mix, those are the only two things that you have left, is fat and protein. You don't have to count anything. You just have to learn how to eat adequate fat. Most of us have to add fat because we're so used to eating for years and years a low-fat diet. So once you have discovered and you've adapted and you become a fat burner, which if you've been doing it for 4 months, you certainly should have by now. Ken Berry always says vitamin P. Vitamin P. Patience. Patience. And let it just try to read your body's signs. Follow your instincts. Eat when you're hungry. Stop when you're full. You don't need to fast. You don't need to do anything. The way you can intermittent fast, and that may speed up things a little bit because it gives your body time to be in autophagy every day and rebuild itself. Maybe moderate exercise helps, but you don't even need to do that for your body to heal. You do want to make sure you have adequate muscle, though. That's important. But as far as healing goes, eat the right stuff. Don't eat the wrong stuff. And don't micromanage it. Don't always keep trying to figure out ways to make it faster, better, bigger. That's where the problems all come in. Everybody in our society is impatient. They don't want to watch a long video. They want to watch a 30-second short and get to the point. I get people comment with me. Why don't you get to the point already? I'm 2 minutes in here and so far you haven't got to the point. I tell them, go away. Go watch some shorts, idiot. Nobody takes time to think about anything. Just relax. Do it. Where are you going? You got somewhere to go? You need to be look good in a bikini by the summertime? I mean, you have a deadline or a goal? Don't. Don't have goals. Goals are destructive. And when you aren't meeting your goal, you're disappointed and it sabotages your efforts. And the opposite of that is if you meet your goal, excuse me, if you meet your goal, that's equally as bad because then your mindset says, "Oh, I succeeded. Congratulations. Yay me. It's time for a reward." And you're off it then. So either way, when you start thinking about goals, only one of two things can happen. You're going to screw it up because you didn't make it and get disgusted, or you're going to screw it up because you did make it and you're going to celebrate. Let it happen as it's going to happen. You're off to a great start there. A great start. You look fairly young in your picture, and kudos if you can figure this out when you're young. It took me, I was 75 years old before I figured it out. And all those years of low carb, always being low carb, never becoming obese, never getting diabetes, but having all these other chronic illnesses, high blood pressure, fatty liver, eczema, kidney stones, all kinds of rheumatoid arthritis. And I thought I was always eating healthy, except for the times when I negotiated with myself and lost and ended up binging and gaining all the weight back. And that happened about 15 times during the course of my life. I did learn what all the traps are. I did learn where the speed bumps are. And that's how I finally came at this simple little advice I try to give to everybody. And sometimes people say, well, it's too simple. It's got to become more complicated than that. It has to have a lot. I need to pay a lot more attention to it than just those few things. How could it possibly work? Well, ask any animal that's roaming the face of the earth because that's how they live. They don't have a conscious mind to figure shit out. They just do what they think or feel they need to do. They follow their urges and they're perfectly healthy eating just the right foods. I know there's a lot of people that think that humans aren't animals, that we're somehow risen above that, usually for religious reasons, but that's just not true. We're animals. We have the same shit inside of us that they do. We have the same organs, the same red blood. Our meat is made of the same stuff. Every one of our systems works the same way. Our hearing, our sight, our sense of taste. We have one hole where the stuff goes in and another hole where the stuff comes out. Just like every other animal. So, no. We want to think we're special. We're different. And sometimes I think it's that difference that's rapidly spelling the extinction of this particular animal. That's very sad. Very sad. So yes, great question. Great question. You, like I would say 80 to 90% of all of the humans, especially in Western civilization, my dear, are a recovering carb addict. Welcome. Welcome to the biggest club on the planet. And great question. Thanks for that. And thanks for the opportunity to pontificate again on some of the things I think are the most important things. And I know I haven't gotten to so much of the chat. It's coming up on 9:30 here. And I've got a lot of viewers. I've got close to 30 and over there in Rumble, 126 here, which is miraculous for Sunday morning. Sunday morning. Got Wayne Herman here, says good morning all from Gaston, North Carolina. And I'm going to just start to run through the chat. Who is this? This is Terry Sue. Our carts get slim here. One of our local. Okay. I'm going to go down here real quick before I start saying goodbye. I know I'm going to just really quick look for more questions. Mitch, can you please bust? I don't know what that means, Peter. I think you... I don't know what that means. I think that was a typo. Meathead says good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Meathead. Good to see you. Question. Here it is. Can you please bust my chops a bit more? It's a sign of love and caring. That's what all my best friends do. Yeah, Peter. Absolutely. Absolutely. I was doing it to you when we were out there at the cigar shop smoking cigars. And the more I bust on you, the more you know that I like you and certainly appreciate you as a friend and part of this community. Part of this community. Okay, more questions anywhere. I'm going to go through real quick. Meantime, you guys can start to say goodbye to each other. I am only up to about 45 minutes ago in the chat. I'll tell you, if Ellen is the fire plug in this community, without a doubt, without a doubt, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I'm so fortunate. So fortunate to have her helping me and helping all of you. She does care as much about everybody else as she does herself. And we were talking about that the other day. I said that she's a lot like me. Sometimes I may not come off of it, but the biggest things that I've ever done in my life that have caused me to get in trouble was always to put people that I care about, put their needs above mine. Their happiness, contentment. It's a mistake. It came back to bite me in the ass so many times. Of course, not everybody cares as much about you or is concerned as much about you as you are. And there aren't really a ton of people like that. And I think Ellen and we talked about it, have that in common. And when you get a chance to know people like that, it's surprising, and you keep wondering to yourself, like I do with Ellen. And everybody wonders about anybody that does something nice for you, and it's human nature to be cynical and say, well, what's in it for you? What's in it for you? Because they can't understand that concept. They think that there has to be something in it for them. Well, there is something in it, and it's the good feeling that you get. And just the fact that you've got a conscience. Something that sometimes, if we have one, we're stuck with it, and it doesn't help. Because it makes you feel guilty about things that nobody else, especially sociopaths, feel guilty about while they're running around raping, stealing, pillaging, hurting people, ruining lives, and could care less. The act of caring is something that's a great gift if you've got it. It shows just how advanced you are as in this species of ours. You can't teach it. I'm looking for questions. I don't see any more. I'm going to scroll through real fast. I'm going to tell all of you, if you still got some coffee left, and I have been ignoring this, finish it. It's too much there to finish at once. I'm going to say thank you. I'm going to try to scroll all the way to the bottom of the chat real quick. Whoop, I saw a question go by. Ellen, I'm sure, has all these questions. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about them tomorrow, and she'll bring them up, and we will get to them. Holy cow, somebody said, happy birthday. Whose birthday is it? That scrolled by so fast that I'll never find it again. Whoever's birthday it is, happy birthday. And we're down at the bottom of the chat, and it's Ellen saying, talking to Trucker Carnivore, Nikki W. I hope everyone has a wonderful Sunday. Aunt B, Thanks, everybody. Crazy Horse, today is the U.S. Marine Corps' birthday. Happy birthday, Marine Semper Fi, my friends. David Smith says goodbye. And Lori, everybody's saying goodbye. And with that, Judith Haynes says, enjoy your cigar. I live in Michigan. Jerry is my brother. Okay. Pamela Suarez, enjoy your day, everybody. Yes, ma'am, we will. We will enjoy our day. It's been great to see you. Had a ball as usual here this morning. Great to see Ellen back. Looking forward to tomorrow morning and Monday morning, a holiday, Veterans Day. Happy Veterans Day to all of you out there that have served. Thank you for your service. And I hope you get all the respect and honor that you guys deserve in spite of the horrible way that those on one particular side of the political aisle have always treated you. So thank you. Thank you for your service. With that, my friends, I'm going to maybe even take the rest of the day off myself. Maybe not even release another video today and just relax. Enjoy the pretty day. Get my mind off of YouTube for a while. And be back fresh in the morning, Monday morning, Veterans Day. And we'll do this again. So, without further ado, thanks for coming. Thanks for being my friend and part of this community. Those of you in Rumble, thank you as well. Good to see you all. I will see you tomorrow morning. In the meantime, please take the rest of the day off and, without fail, eat meat.